Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Force with some more Elder Scrolls Online. In today's video, I'm going to show you a different build from what I've been doing. In fact, I've completely flipped the script. If you have been following my content at all, you'll know that I've been maining a Khajiit Nightblade, and with that Nightblade I decided to go with a stamina focused build using a two-handed sword or two-handed weapon as well as a bow setup. And it was very effective. I was actually very good at soloing. Well, as I'm continuing to make my way through the veteran ranks, you can see right now I'm veteran rank 2, I decided to try something totally different. I am now a light armor caster with a focus on magicka, and believe it or not, it totally works. It seems fairly legit. I've got some tweaking to do to the build. It is not perfect or set in stone at the moment, but it's viable. And right now, I'm in a dungeon here. This is supposed to be a group public dungeon, and I'm going to show you how this build plays into action, how it plays. I just would like to show you how it plays. So we're going to start off here. I'm just going to clear this single mob. Again, I am now a caster. I'm using a destruction staff. I'm focusing on the siphon and shadow skill lines, and again, I am a completely magicka-based focus as opposed to like a a melee brawler. You know, whether I was I personally went with the bow and the two-handed, but it was basically a rogue style character. And to switch that completely and go with what I'm dubbing a warlock build, because it's siphon life and fire damage and stuff, I think that's really neat that I can just do all of that with the exact same character. I haven't had to re-roll an entire new character. I just had to respec and put my points elsewhere. So I'll show you the build, but I'd like to show you a couple of pulls before we actually do that. So there's a big group here, lots of enemies. These are all veteran rank 2 opponents. I, again, myself, am also veteran rank 2 here. So we're going to engage. So what I'll do is I'm going to start off with a attack from far away. I'm going to siphon life one of them. Then I'm going to throw it on this path that does damage over time, as well as damage over time, as well as heals me. And then we pop my ultimate there. Now the great thing about that ultimate is it stuns them and does some damage. And I'm just going to walk them through the fire damage now. You're going to notice I've got this little shield around me. This is a heavy armor ability. And the neat thing about that is I've actually mixed it up. While I did say, and it is true, that I am using primarily light armor, I've also got two-piece heavy armor to make me a little bit more tanky. And I do have that heavy armor ability, which adds further to my tankiness. Alright, so those zombies are actually a little more difficult than these normal pulls should be, so I'll show you another pull here. Start off, open up with a fire attack, siphon life, throw down the ground ability, throw down our fire, run in, pop our ultimate. We're going to do our number 4, which is also AoE damage, and then we just have to throw down another wave of fire there, block any incoming excess damage. And then these archers actually, if you watched my stream last night, these archers proved to be a huge pain in the butt, but I've learned how to deal with them. And as you just saw, fairly effectively, essentially able to grind through large packs of these veteran ranks enemies. I mean, it's pretty legit. It's pretty legit, and it's very exciting to me. Yesterday on the stream, I was tickled pink. I was so incredibly excited, and the reason for that, the reason being, is, as I mentioned, to go from like polar opposite play styles from a physical damage dealer into a mage, and to have them both work effectively is just really awesome to see. And this is a system we've known about. I mean, this is what they've been touting for this game, but to actually see it in action, to actually see it in effect. Now my current setup, I basically have one bar. This first bar here, it's fire destruction staff on both, but this first bar is focused on being able to take down single targets, whereas the second bar, when I hot swap, while it's also a fire destruction staff, this one is more focused on taking out groups of enemies. So I'm going to take out this last group, and then we'll take a look at my skills here. So again, open up with a fire attack, do the siphon life, do the damage on the ground, do the fire damage on the ground, run in with an ultimate, and do my AoE that siphons their life, but also adds to my weapon damage. And then any stragglers like this guy will take out. And if things get really hairy, again, I can always just pop my 5 here, which makes me a lot more tanky. You can see I'm now overloaded on spell resistance and armor with this 5 up. So, you've seen some gameplay. Let's talk about the build now. This is by no means an end-all be-all. It's still in flux. You know, I am still learning up the light and the heavy armor, so there's still more skills for me to spend. I'm still going through the destruction staff skill line, and I still haven't maxed out siphoning or shadow, which, you know, my build won't be set in stone until those are done. But let's just take a general look at it. So my single target skill setup, I've got Swallow Soul. This does damage to the target and then heals me over time as well. And increases my healing from other sources while the ability is slotted. My number 2 ability is a cripple. This is actually really, really nice. It does a pretty significant amount of damage with 535 magical damage over 8 seconds. And also on impact, it does additional damage and immobilizes them for 1.5 seconds. So this is great for kiting around melee opponents. And again, it's just a nice dot to have. Number 3 ability is a destruction staff ability, Fire Clench. It will change depending on the type of destruction staff you have. With the fire destruction staff, it's going to do 232 flame damage right now, knocks the target back, and then also stuns them for 2.5 seconds. I love that stun. It's very, very, very helpful, especially against elite mobs. My number 4 ability is a ranged execute. This is actually the same ability that I was using on my stamina focused bow and two-handed Nightblade. It's a little more effective here because of my Magicka focus. It's going to increase the base damage, but it's still, again, just primarily used as a way to finish off opponent. It's got a low Magicka cost compared to other abilities, so again, it's a nice finisher. And then Siphoning Strikes. This is what makes this build that I have here sustainable, because if you ever run low on your Magicka or stamina, you can pop Siphoning Strikes. You'll be doing less damage, but your basic weapon attacks will then restore Magicka and stamina. Very, very good for prolonged fights, big boss enemies that you may come against. If you're able to kite them around, you don't really have to worry about running out of Magicka or stamina, because you can just pop Siphoning Strikes and replenish it. And then my ultimate right now is Soul Assault, just massive single target damage. I've got it morphed to last longer. Also snares the target for a huge percentage, as you can see. So almost 3,000 magic damage with over 300% snare applied to the target. And here's my second skill line. I've got one of the same abilities, that is Swallow Soul. The reason I have that here is because, you know, it is a heal, but it also increases the heal that I get from Refreshing Path. So this is all AoE focused. My number 2, Refreshing Path, puts damage on the ground whenever enemies walk over it, plus it heals me and increases my movement speed when I run over it. My number 3, Blockade of Fire. This is Destruction Staff. It's going to do fire damage on the ground. And then my number 4, Drain Power. Actually, yeah, this still needs to be morphed too. I don't think... yeah, I'm pretty sure this is unmorphed at the moment. Again, this is a fairly new build that I've been trying. But yeah, it just does area damage and then increases my weapon damage based on the number of enemies around me. So this allows me to deal more damage with my staff attacks. And then number 5, this is for when things get hairy. This is the Heavy Armor skill, and it makes me just a lot more tanky. As you saw when I popped it, it makes me hit the soft cap for my spell resist and armor, essentially making me a tank while I have it active. And the best part about it is, while everything else that I'm doing uses Magicka, Unstoppable uses stamina. So this is a resource that I've got plenty of extra of, and when I'm pulling big groups, I can just pop this a lot because I'm, for the most part, not using that resource at all. And then lastly, for the ultimate, this is Soul Tether. This is the Siphoning ultimate. Does AoE damage, stuns them for 4.5 seconds, and yeah, it's just, this is a really neat build. And I think, once more, the reason that I'm so excited about it, not to say this is an end-all, be-all build. It has plenty of min-maxing to be had and plenty of tweaks to be made, but just going from one completely different playstyle to another with the same character is really awesome to me. And again, this is not something that's like mystical and magical and that like no one knows about. Everyone knows that that's what you're supposed to be able to do in this game, but to see it in action and to be able to show it to you guys and to show you this is legitimate. Like, this actually, 2 different playstyles, same character, and it works. It totally, absolutely, 100% works. Just very, very exciting to me. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Oh no, I pulled way too many. Oh no, pulled way too many. Ultimate, go, ultimate. Okay, we need more heal. More, I need another ultimate here. Oh my gosh. I lived. It is so, so good. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, taking a look at a Nightblade Warlock build. Hopefully you guys like it. The boss? Is the boss? Yeah, the boss is no problem. Boss is no problem at all. I mean, we're gonna kill the boss. We're gonna kill the boss. Stay tuned for more Elder Scrolls Online coverage coming up. I'm gonna keep playing with this build. I want to max it out, at least get all these skill lines to level 50, and then I'll decide what sort of build I want to do after that. But for now, this is pretty awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Again, stay tuned for more ESO coverage coming up on the channel. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Keep watching and keep owning. Keep owning. I am owning.